fucking god, what is this? NightmareRH's account has been reset by the Jagex Corporation. Well, I hate to break it, guys. Making too many videos bashing Modmark and bashing Jagex, they reset my account to nothing. Not to mention they made me change my name, and they also turned me into a hardcore Iron Man. So, for those of you guys that remember last weekend, we did a 24-hour charity live stream, and we started a hardcore Iron Man account on RuneScape. Yes, I still have my little bungus account on old school RuneScape and also modern day RuneScape. However, doing Ultimate Iron Man on old school RuneScape, it's kinda hard. In the asshole. However, doing something even harder on modern day RuneScape is having one life to live. What is the difference between Ultimate Iron Man and Hardcore Iron Man? Ultimate Iron Man on old school RuneScape, you cannot bank any items whatsoever. You cannot trade, you cannot bank items. Your inventory is literally your bank. However, Hardcore Iron Man on modern day RuneScape, you can bank. But if you die, then your account forever goes away. Your membership dies with it. Everything on it goes bye-bye, except your high scores stay on the high scores Hardcore Iron Man page. However, on Ultimate Iron Man on old school RuneScape, if you die, you can die however many fucking times as you want, because you have infinite lives. However, Hardcore Iron Man, you only have one life to live. Unless, of course, you purchase more life. Alrighty then, so basically, like I said, it was 24 hours of non-stop live streaming and seeing how far we can go and if we can survive 24 hours of doing quests and also playing Hardcore Iron Man in general. I started a new Hardcore Iron Man account, or rather my first Hardcore Iron Man account, and hopefully it's going to be my first, and hopefully I don't fucking die and have to restart a new account. Did it with two of my friends. And together we battled very, very, very droopy eye syndrome and insomnia, and we did a lot of crap. I myself, we all did fucking 45 quest points, or for 24 hours we ended up getting 45 quest points. And as you're seeing on the screen, these are basically the highlights of all the quests that we basically did and all the skilling that we did in general. I went from a total level of 33 points to 534 points, which means I gained 501 total levels in 24 hours. That's really not that bad, considering the fact that I'd say most likely 90% of all the levels that I gained was through skilling. And as you basically see on the screen, we were doing Barbarian Stronghold, or the Stronghold Security, for 10,000 GP. You always want to do Barbarian Stronghold whether you're an Iron Man or not, because you get a free 10,000 GP. Not to mention on modern day RuneScape, it is significantly a lot easier. And as you're seeing on the screen, we did a whole bunch of quests, such as Priest in the Peril, that gave Prairie XP, plus Restless Ghost, that gave more Prairie XP. Then we gained a fuck ton of Fishing EXP from the Fishing Contest. I always forget about doing Fishing Contests and how easy it actually really is. You go and talk to an asshole, you put something in a pipe that is not a dildo-shaped object, and then you basically enter a contest and win. Otherwise, it's basically pretty damn easy. Not to mention, we did all the hard quests out there, such as Waterfall Quest, which is actually really, really, really easy on modern day RuneScape, because one, the Moss Giants are not overpowered and they're non-aggressive towards you. If you are a low level on old school RuneScape, you're gonna die if you don't have a hit points above 14. Or rather, hit points maybe above like 15 or 16 and actually maybe 12 defense. Because the Moss Giants can actually hit up to 14. I found that out the hard way on my Ultimate Iron Man account, dying the very first day. However, on EOC, it's a little bit different. Once again, EOC is backwards land, but it's still fucking fun. So anyways, what are my goals for Hardcore Iron Man? One, after doing 24 hours of, well, live streaming and leveling up this account and surviving 24 hours, I actually want to continue doing Iron Man, or rather, Hardcore Iron Man in general. What are my current goals? Well, my current goal is to get a skill total level of 1,000, buy an extra life, which is 100k, and also buy the life that turns you into a regular Iron Man. Yes, you get 3 lives on Hardcore Iron Man. Your first extra life is 100k, but if you die, then you get turned into a normal Iron Man, and you can never go back into being a Hardcore Iron Man. However, once you reach a skill level of 1,000 total level, which is essentially 38 levels in each skill, or you can get one skill level to maybe 72 or 73, then you can avoid getting one skill to level 38. However, essentially you need 38 total levels in each skill. At level 1,000, you can purchase an extra life for 100k. Then, once you get to a skill level of 1,600, your second life costs essentially right around 10 mil GP. Making 10 mil on HardCore IronMan, that's kind of like making 500 mil on regular RuneScape. It's hard as fuck. However, as you're seeing on the screen right now, we are doing the Tree Gnome Little Village type quest. I almost died during this quest! It was very scary, plus I was very tired, plus I was very, very nerve-wracking, plus I was extremely stressed the fuck out because I didn't want to lose 12 hours of my account from one little gigantic titty demon. However, we prevailed, no spoilers event, because I still have my HardCore IronMan, and we completed the quest. Woohoo! Otherwise, like I said, current goals, I want to continue skilling up this account and really seeing how far I can make it. However, doing bossing on HardCore IronMan, Jagex is actually going to modify the Iron Man rules. The rule is that if you kill a monster and someone takes or does 1 damage to the monster, you get the drop, but you don't actually get the items from the drop. So if I go to Bandos and if I did 99% of General Gonorrhea, you know, the big guy, the Bandos boss. If I did 99% of damage, I would get the bones plus the charms. As for getting a tacit drop, I would not get the tacit drop. If I do 100% of the damage, then I could possibly get a tacit drop. However, they are changing that rule so HardCore Ironmans and Ironmans can boss in general. They're going to make it so if you conflict over 50% of the damage, you can actually therefore get the Bandos type drop, which is going to be fucking awesome. I would love to go to God Wars on my HardCore IronMan account and use my friend as the front line, or rather a meat shield. Yes, you are the meat shield, Nate. And then my other friend will attack Bandos along with me. However, besides that, like I said, I would like to do a lot of shit. Right now, I'm just really skilling for a skill total level of 1,000, leveling up some shit. Eventually, I want to do Monkey Madness, but Monkey Madness is really the only thing left besides Desert Treasure that gives a lot of combat EXP. We basically pretty much did every skill out there from the Knight Sword to not Monkey Madness, free play quest that gives you a shit ton of fucking combat EXP. Hence, that's why we gained 500 levels, 90% of them was through skilling, such as the fishing contest, etc., etc. However, on this game, skilling on EOC is significantly easier than skilling on Old School. I learned that out basically just by walking around RuneScape. 1, you have lodestones. Waterfall quests actually really only took, I want to say maybe like 30 minutes. Actually, it probably only took maybe like 20 minutes, rather than on Old School RuneScape, it took maybe right around, I would say, an hour and a half, and I died during it, which sucked balls. As you're seeing on the screen, this is Elvarg. Yes, Elvarg on EOC. I had such a hard time on my Ultimate Iron Man, if you guys remember that shit. However, on modern-day EOC RuneScape, there was no challenge whatsoever. Elvarg did not stand the match of my EOC little Ness, and it died pretty goddamn fucking fast, which is kind of pathetic. But then again, on EOC, there are bigger monsters out there besides Elvarg, such as Araxor and Bandos in general, and a lot of other scarier shit. But doing Dragon Slayer was definitely an accomplishment, because, well, we got a shit ton of combat EXP, and someday I can purchase a dragon, or rather a rune plate body. However, in order to wear rune, I need 50 defense. On Old School RuneScape, it's 40 defense, which is kind of shitty. But then again, that's how modern-day RuneScape pretty much is and shit like that. We also did Jungle Potion, as you see in general, and we also did a few other quests, which really sucked to conclude the 24-hour live stream. Not to mention, we did... what quest is that? Cook's Assistance, or rather Gertrude's Cats. Then we did Cook's Assistance, and we did Ernest the Butt-Fucking Chicken, which was terrible. It was the most horrible thing I've ever done in my life for the second goddamn time. Not to mention, for the whole month of July, or rather August, they're doing a special little beach thing down in Lumbridge. where you basically get free EXP for defeating a monster, and that is how I, last night, went from level 1 construction to level 30 construction, which is pretty awesome. Firstly, let me introduce my name of my hardcore Iron Man. It is pronounced Boora, or rather Boobas. Yes, the little Boobas. What is a Boora or a little Booba? I'll show you guys in another video, I promise. However, for the bank of NightmareRH, as you see, or rather the bank of my hardcore Iron Man, it is completely disorganized, but that's okay. My cash stack of literally 12K is going to make awesome and sexy time in the future. I have not had a chance to organize my bank just yet, however I will do so. Have some little shit I need to cook for my little cooking levels. However, this is the guy where you buy the extra life from, Mr. X. Not Mr. X from Resident Evil, because that guy would kill something. But as you see, hardcore Iron Man, blind eyes, you're choosing the path, can you help me? A jar of divine life. There it is. Never disable hardcore Iron Man mode. You can choose to never disable Iron Man mode, or you can buy a jar of life. That will cost 100,000 coins. When you purchase one of these things, basically, when you die, or if you die, it turns you into a normal Iron Man. And then, of course, that guy sells a sign of life, or rather, you know, other stuff in general. One of my goals on this game, significantly, and my friend's goals as well, is to get 78 Divination. Divination sucks, but at level 78, something magical happens. Yes, the sign of life, which you fucking need. However, the one problem is getting a diamond ring. Crafting a diamond ring. Getting diamonds in general really isn't the hard part, but actually getting your smithing level up to do little jewelry or little other crap, or smelting, bronze, or other shit. Actually, I don't think you need a smithing level. You need a crafting level, goddammit! And to craft a diamond ring, you currently need 43 crafting, which that really isn't a lot. Oh, wait a second. Diamond ring, no. Dragonstone ring, diamond ring, 43. What was I saying? Yes, a diamond ring. So I need 43 crafting plus 78 divination. Divination is easy to actually level up. However, crafting, leveling up, we have a lot of flax to pick. Otherwise, like I said, this is going to be a new series, new account, to see how long I can actually do it for. The only times that I'll be playing my hardcore Iron Man is on live stream for you guys. So make sure whenever I'm live streaming, you come on and say hello, and, well, you see the journey of the adventure. Otherwise, later today, we're going to begin day 2, or rather day 3 of my Ultimate Iron Man, because this was theoretically we'll say day 2 is going to be later today. Yesterday, all I really did was just log on and also did some construction, so it really didn't count so much. Today, we'll begin day 2 of my hardcore Iron Man, and today we're going to be doing the Lost City quest, which is going to suck, but it's going to be kind of fun. Anyways, guys, let me know in some nasty dirty little comments what you think about my hardcore Iron Man, and if you find it sexy and awesome. Oh yes, and one last thing before I forget and totally unfuck my head from my asshole. The charity live stream that we did last weekend was for the Wounded Warriors Project. If you guys don't know the Wounded Warriors Project basically pretty much is, it's an organization that helps returning veterans from overseas that have been injured, combat-related and non-combat related. Plus, the Wounded Warrior Project also helps out a lot of families for those that have lost loved ones overseas. When I say overseas, I don't mean on vacation, I mean in combat, or war, or battle, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Wherever there's a battle, basically the Wounded Warrior Project is always there to help, per se. However, we ended up raising right about $520. After all the bullshit PayPal fees got taken out, I threw in $50 myself, so we raised a grand total of $550. Not as much as other charity live streams, however, there was a lot of streamers doing charity live streams, so my stream kind of got not so many views, but it's okay. Mr. Common Ruse, if you're watching this, I want to thank you again for donating close to $250 for the charity live stream. Anyone else that donated towards the charity live stream, big appreciation, and it really does help out a lot for a donation. As you're seeing on the screen right now, that's basically me sending $550 to the Wounded Warriors Project. So far, we have raised over $3,000 for the Jimmy Fund in support of cancer and cancer research and cancer treatment. And we also raised $500 for wounded veterans and family members that have lost service members overseas. The next charity live stream that we're probably going to do, not this coming weekend, but probably the following coming weekend, probably going to be doing another cancer charity support live stream in general. Otherwise, guys, let me know in some nasty dirty comments what other charities out there we can possibly do charity live streams for. I know there's a ton of really good ones. Like I said, the one that I know close to me, or rather in Boston, is actually the Jimmy Fund. And we already raised $3,000 for them. But let me know in some nasty dirty comments. Otherwise, once again, thank you all that donated for the charity live stream, and I'll see you guys today on live stream. Otherwise, bye!